What is up, everybody? So today we're going to talk about Andrew Colborn on Convicting a Murderer. But before we jump into that, I just want to thank everybody out there. I went through and averaged out the percent score on the videos I've been doing on Convicting a Murderer, specifically the 6 episode reviews I've done on Convicting a Murderer, and the score blew me away. It averaged out to a positive review score of 95.3%. So I just want to thank everybody out there that is taking the time out to watch the videos. If you agree with what I say, amazing. If you don't agree with what I say, that's okay too. Thanks to everybody for contributing in the comments section. You're truly helping everything. So thank you all so much for the 95.3% positive review score. Okay, so let's talk about Andrew Colborn on Convicting a Murderer. Yesterday, episode 6 of Convicting a Murderer aired, and it was about the license plate and the key, both of which Andrew Colborn played a big part in. The alleged planting of the key in Stephen Avery's bedroom, and the alleged fact that he was looking at the license plate when he called in Teresa Halbach's RAV4 information. And that's what we're going to focus on mostly in this video. So, it was found out by Rookie that the call that Andrew Colborn made when he called in the license plate number and Teresa Halbach's RAV4 info was made on November the 3rd, 2005. The big question was, why did he use a cell phone to call that in and not the police radio? Andrew Colborn stated in episode 6 of Convicting a Murderer that he used a cell phone because people had things where you could listen to the police radio. The public could listen to the police radio if they wanted. And he didn't want that information to go out over the radio to become public just yet. So that's why he said he used a cell phone. Now, people also had things where they could listen into cell phone calls as well. Just the same way they could listen into police radios, police scanners, fire, ambulance, you name it. People had things where they could also listen to cell phone calls. So to me, that really didn't make any sense as to why his response as to why he used the cell phone and not the police radio. Because you could also listen to phone calls as well if you wanted to. Also regarding that particular phone call, Candace Owens states, now Andrew Colborn, let me backtrack here. Andrew Colborn stated on the stand that he didn't remember the date or time of that call. Candace Owens stated that he didn't remember the date or time of that call because he was on the stand over a year later after everything happened. Now, in Convicting a Murderer, he recalls everything he did on his day off, which was allegedly on November the 4th. I don't know exactly when this interview happened that aired on Convicting a Murderer. It was easily over a decade later. So let's think about this. Candace Owens stated that it was okay that Andrew Colborn did not recall the date and time of this particular phone call of calling in Teresa Halbach's RAV4 information because he was on the stand over a year later. But a decade plus later, he can remember everything he did on his day off? Man, you guys gotta make it make sense. A year later, I don't remember, that's okay, but a decade plus has complete recall about what he did on his day off, which was the day after he made this phone call. Truly strange. And then Mystic Jinx on Twitter put this out, and I will link Mystic Jinx's Twitter in the description below. Make sure to go give them a follow. This is from the Calumet County Sheriff's Department. It is a report, and at the very bottom there, highlighted in yellow. Now remember, Andrew Colborn just had complete recall of his day off on November the 4th, 2005. It states here at the very bottom, on Friday, November the 4th, 2005, Sergeant Andrew Colborn indicated he was off. He could not recall what he had done on this day off. So back then, Andrew Colborn had absolutely no idea what he was doing on his day off. But now, a decade plus later, has complete recall. It is more likely that when he was being put on the stand back then, that he would have remembered everything that he did on his day off, or he should have remembered everything he did on his day off and when he made that phone call. Even if you're not filing an official report, write stuff down for yourself so that when you're on the stand, you can go back and have a look. Okay, I did this on November 3rd. I did this on November 4th. Like, help yourself. People wouldn't have come at you so much if you could remember anything that you did, if you ever wrote a report on anything that you ever did while you're an officer. Multiple times, Andrew Colborn has done things and has either not written a report about it or has waited months and months to write that report. And in one instance, waited like 8 years before he wrote a report on something. Just absolutely crazy. This police force is the absolute worst on keeping things organized, on writing reports, on making sure everything is done correctly. And now I just got this tweet as well from geek_43, and I'll put it up on the screen for you as well. Love your show. Thank you very much. I take it that Convicting a Murderer doesn't reference where Andrew Colborn was told about a sighting of the RAV4 in the gas station, as it doesn't fit the narrative. They haven't yet. There's still 4 more episodes of the show to go, so I won't say they're not going to mention it for sure because I haven't seen the last 4 episodes yet. Now, he is referencing where somebody ran into Andrew Colborn at a Cenex gas station, I believe it was a Cenex gas station, and told them that they saw Teresa Halbach's RAV4 parked, I believe it was off the side of the highway, just pulled off there, and told Andrew Colborn this. But of course, once again, Andrew Colborn does not write a report. Let's just say it wasn't Andrew Colborn and this person was mixed up by which officer they saw. I fully believe that this person went into a Cenex gas station and told an officer that, because the reason why it might not be Andrew Colborn is because this was Andrew Colborn's alleged day off, so he wouldn't have been in uniform. But let's just say it was a different officer. So let's just say that whoever it was, whoever that this person told at the Cenex gas station they saw Teresa Halbach's RAV4, should have called it in, should have made a report, should have wrote it down, should have did anything to avoid things like this, unless they were intentionally trying to avoid it, to cover up anything that they were allegedly doing. That's just my opinion and my thoughts. So he wants to know if it was in the episode yet, or he wants to know if it was in the series yet. It was not, but there's still 4 more episodes. It'll be extremely interesting to see if they do include that in Convicting a Murderer. So that was a big part of Convicting a Murderer episode 6. The next episode looks like it's going to be about the blood vial. And Candace Owens had some strong things to say about this blood vial in the preview for the episode, which would be episode 7. Now, I'm just going to talk about something else. A lot of people in the comments that are watching these videos are new to the channel, and they're talking about how much information Convicting a Murderer is putting out there. I'm going to assume that most of these people didn't watch Making a Murderer, because everything they are talking about, for the most part, is in Making a Murderer. They haven't shown really anything. They've aired a couple of clips with a few seconds added. They've showed a court transcript once, maybe twice, where things were taken out of order, and yes, that definitely did happen. However, the majority of the information in Convicting a Murderer is talked about in Making a Murderer. If you looked into anything post Making a Murderer, if you have at all looked into the case, nothing they aired, except for one thing for me, and which I didn't think they were going to be, because if it was, it would have came out in court. It would have came out in any of the things that have been filed since Making a Murderer aired. The only thing new to me was the lanyard that was found in the center console, I believe, of Teresa Halbach's RAV4. That's the only thing that I can say that I know that was new to me And if I have heard it before, I don't remember hearing it before, so I'm going with that is the only piece of new information so far that Convicting a Murderer has aired. So, and they didn't show what Brenda had in the box either from episode 5. We have not learned what was in the box, Brenda. What is in the box? Let me know. Let me know what you think. What do you think of Convicting a Murderer so far? Do you have any questions on what you want to know is going to air in Convicting a Murderer? Or if you haven't seen it, if you want to know it has already aired in Convicting a Murderer, let me know. Leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.